Hey everyone, John here from testprepinsight.com, and today I'm going to be doing a review of School of PE. We'll talk about how the School of PE course is structured, what their classes are like, what we think of their curriculum and practice work, and of course, I'll give you a verdict at the end on whether we think this course is worth it. And actually, real quick, before we just jump right in, I do just want to mention that since we're limited on time today and just talking about the major points in this video, if you find you need some more detail at any point, you can always check out our full detailed written review of School of PE over on our website. An easy way to find that is just to Google Test Prep Insight School of PE Review. That's the quickest way to find that. All right, so I just want to start this video off by saying that this is a review for both the FE and PE exams. I know that's not perfect, but we purchased and reviewed both their FE and PE exam prep courses, and we fully intended to do separate review videos on each because obviously these are two very different exams, but at the end of the day, it just wouldn't have made a ton of sense. There would have been a ton of redundancy and overlap in the two videos we had planned because of the nature of these courses. While the exam formats and underlying materials tested on the FE and PE are obviously much different, School of PE's teaching methodology, course structure, and provided materials are basically the same from FE to PE. It's just the underlying material that gets swapped out between courses, which kind of makes sense for efficiency purposes. Think of it like the same course template. So in the end, we decided to just combine the videos into one, as what we found will probably apply regardless of whether you're talking about the FE exam or PE exam. I'll do my best to call out differences where they exist, but I just wanted to make that clear up front. So with that out of the way, I think the best way of doing this review is just explaining how this prep program works and layering in my thoughts and analysis as we go. I think that's the most efficient way to help you understand what you would be doing on a daily basis and get some pros and cons along the way. So everything with School of PE revolves around their study hub. Whether you plan to take the on-demand package or live online package, the dashboard is your jumping off point. From here, the main tab is called course material. This is where you're going to spend almost all of your time. All of your substantive content review and practice material is bucketed into sections under this tab based on topic. For example, for FE Civil, think of buckets like statics, dynamics, fluids, and things like that. Now, in terms of what's in these topical folders, you can think of each one as a learning module. They each consist of 5 core elements: refresher notes, workshop problems and solutions, lecture videos, quizzes, and flashcards. Now, let's look at each of these in a little bit of detail. So, the refresher notes are essentially instructor handouts for class. They primarily consist of key teaching points, content review, and sample problems. In my opinion, these are maybe the most valuable piece of material in the program. They're mostly just bullet points, key equations, and problems demonstrating the teaching points. So in short, these note sets are fantastic. Then after that, there's the workshop problems and solutions. These are PDFs that consist of a series of targeted practice questions with accompanying solutions. The solutions that School of PE provides are okay for the most part. They weren't the best or worst that we've seen and reviewed. Some were a little on the thin side for explanations for our liking, but the visuals were really nice. Most of the solutions include demonstrative visual breakdowns, and I really like these as a visual learner. Then there's the lecture videos. These are essentially the backbone of your instruction with School of PE. If you're an on-demand student, these will be accessible at any time as they're really just pre-recorded lectures from previous classes, but if you're a live online student, these will be added right after class ends where you can re-watch them for review if you want, or watch them for the first time if you had to miss class. But anyway, these videos and the real-time classes for that matter, I suppose, generally rely on slides. A profile picture of your instructor appears in the upper corner, and there's a chat function, but the main teaching is done on the screen with the slides. The instructor will mark the slides up with a stylus and voice their lesson over the on-screen text. It's a pretty classic and effective teaching method that I'm sure most people will be used to if you've ever taken an online class. But anyway, circling back to my point above about the connection between on-demand and live instruction, in essence, the lecture videos and live classes are kind of intertwined. On-demand students effectively just get access to previously recorded lessons for their instruction. Now, obviously, the big downside of that is that you can't ask questions in real time. You can pause and replay, but there's no chance for interaction. And you lose the accountability that comes with a set live class schedule. That factor can be a big one for working professionals trying to commit to studying. Though I will say, as an on-demand student, once or twice when we had lingering questions after watching a pre-recorded class but couldn't ask a question, we just shot an email to the support line and got a decent response, so that is a bit of a saving grace. But anyway, let's keep this moving and next talk about the quizzes. So once you're done with your refresher notes, workshop problems, and video lectures, you then test what you just learned through a targeted quiz. Each of these quizzes contains about 30 questions, and they're designed to test your knowledge on what you just learned. Now, while these questions aren't necessarily realistic of exam questions, which we found slightly annoying, they are good for making you think critically and help you to retain new info. And then the final piece of each learning module is a set of digital flashcards. And that's more or less what it sounds like, but do note that some of the flashcards are actually a little different from the classic format of a term on the front with the corresponding definition on the back. Some actually contain short multiple choice questions on the front with answers on the back. We actually thought those were particularly useful for getting material to really sink in. Okay, so another point to make here is that outside of the learning modules, every so often during your progression through the program, you'll be prompted to refresh what you've learned to that point. These mid-course reviews occur at 25% of course completion, 50%, 75%, and at the end of the course, although you can tweak that in the settings if you want. These review sessions prompt you to review notes and work practice problems, and we found them to be really helpful refreshers. And then, two final substantive points to make here about how this course works. If at any point during the program you want additional practice, you can always jump into the practice portal and build a custom quiz based on question topic, difficulty, and some other parameters. For people that have particular weak spots, I think this tool is useful for really narrowly targeting problems. And then lastly, the final point that I want to make here is that in addition to the digital study hub materials, you also get a printed School of PE review guide when you sign up. This textbook generally tracks with and supplements the primary digital materials. It contains content review with key notes, equations, cross-references to the reference handbook, and sample problems with explanations. It is a very thorough review book, and although I would say that PPI's guide is slightly better, it's very good in its own right, and text-based learners are going to use the heck out of this book. But that's more or less the School of PE prep program in a nutshell. In total, you're looking at around a dozen or so different modules, depending of course on FE versus PE and which discipline you're studying for, with each module made up of a variety of features, exercises, and tools. I would venture that the course is going to take you somewhere in the ballpark of 300 hours to fully complete. Okay, so let's get to the final verdict here. But actually, before we dive into that, let's quickly cover School of PE's pricing, as that's going to be a really important topic for a lot of people. So School of PE's pricing varies somewhat widely depending on which exam you're taking and which format you want, live online versus on demand. But generally speaking, the FE on demand courses start at around $1,200 and the live online version costs $1,800. Then for the PE, the on demand courses start at around $1,800 and the live online version costs $2,400. So to put things in perspective, that's not cheap. Honestly, School of PE is one of the more expensive prep providers out there. However, with that said, it's definitely worth mentioning that School of PE does frequently run sales and special promotions, and you can almost always find a discount on their courses, so make sure to look for coupon codes before buying. In fact, I'll do my best to keep the description down below the video screen updated with the most current discount codes that I can find out there, so make sure to check that out and save yourself some money if you do decide to go with School of PE. I think in a lot of cases here, you can stack their deals and coupons and score a few $100s off. Okay, my final verdict. Is School of PE worth it? So in the end, although School of PE is a little pricey, I think this prep program is worth the money. Honestly, it's one of the most comprehensive and effective prep programs that we've reviewed, both for the FE and PE. You can check out our separate video where we rank the best FE and PE exam prep courses out there. We've reviewed almost 10 of them now, and School of PE is clearly in the top 2. In fact, they're very close to being the best overall. In short, their video instruction and live online classes are very engaging and effective. The practice problems are highly realistic. The mid-course progress refreshers are really smart. The learning modules have an effective structure and nice flow to them. And we were just generally impressed. So although School of PE does cost a bit more than some other prep providers, we think it's worth it. But anyway, I hope this video has been helpful. If so, please return the favor by subscribing to the channel. And in fact, I should just mention that we actually give away a free prep course every single month here to one lucky person. It's really easy to enter. Just do the 3 simple things listed right here on screen. It'll take you like 10 seconds, and hey, you never know. You could win yourself a totally free FE or PE prep course. But anyway, thank you for the watch and best of luck in your prep journey.